Why, hello there. These weeks go by far too quickly. But hey, the gap between these reviews is getting a little bit shorter. So, at least that means something, right? I don't know. Let's just get on with it. As with last time, before we start going over the story, let's take a look at the characters in this game. Yasunari, our protagonist. He's rather glum, but he doesn't stab anything. And he can also banter quite well. Actually a pretty decent protagonist here. Itsuki, he's pretty easygoing and likes to joke around. He's also almost always quite calm. A little disturbing. Sumika, she's pretty high energy and largely comic relief, but she's also a little weird in other ways too. Dio, she's calm, collected, and intelligent, and she seems to know more than anyone about the situation they're in. It's almost concerning. A lot of weird characters in this one, aren't there? Ayana, the innocent childhood friend, who didn't deserve any of this. Also has amnesia, because why wouldn't she? I mean, I know why she does. It's a pretty large plot point. Aside from this point. This is not relevant. Moving on. The game is Miniature Garden, a mystery/horror visual novel that follows Igusa Yasunari and a few of his friends as they are trapped in their school, unable to leave by some strange force. While there, they end up encountering a mysterious girl who seems to know what's going on, or at least some of it, and together they have to figure out how to get out and what is causing this to happen. Over the course of the story, you make several choices in an effort to escape, which will result in you getting one of 7 different endings. Some good and others not at all. Now, this description is quite short, and, well, there's a reason for that. This is a mystery after all, so I can't exactly go spoiling the entire story, now can I? Though, because I do have some things I want to say about the storyline, I might make a separate video discussing in more detail my thoughts on the story. So if I do decide to do that, keep an eye out for it, I guess. As I said before, there are a lot of choices in this one, and to my testing, every choice is considered in determining what end or route you'll get. That said, I would recommend making a flowchart or something like that as you go through to avoid making redundant decisions, because it can be quite a web. Each of these ends tends to relate to one of the 3 main heroines, though they do vary much more drastically than just who does Yasunari end up with. As I said before, there are 7 different endings. 3 of them are good and 4 of them are bad ends. The bad ends are counted towards your total completion of the game, so I would recommend still getting them, even if they are, well, quite grim. Despite how many choices there are, this visual novel is actually quite short, so if you really put your mind to it, you could probably get every ending in a single weekend. There are a lot of mysteries in this, all kind of tangling together into this giant web. And you're not going to be made clear on them over the course of a single run. You're expected to piece together the entire story over the course of every ending that you get. Though, things are still left a little too vague for my liking even after all that. Especially when it comes to Sumika's ending. Well, I mean, that entire route was just kind of weird. I still don't quite get it. The characters are pretty interesting. Even the main character has a good amount of personality. None of them fit too cleanly into the standard anime tropes, though they do still have comparisons. Io, for example, is quite a bit of a kudere, even if only by her design and voice. Actually, now that I think about it, she looks quite a bit like Shion. Silver hair and red eyes is quite common in anime, isn't it? The game's price is alright, maybe a little high given its length, though I personally got it when it was available for free on itch.io a while back. So, probably should have mentioned that sooner, huh? Wait, you're back? Okay then, thanks for the assist, I guess. You're certainly taking a long time, though. Yeah, I suppose so. That makes sense. Things don't always go smoothly, huh? I find it a little strange that, outside of character names and the name of the school, there aren't really any proper nouns. It's all a certain group this and one person that, It's all very vague. Kind of makes me wonder if the lack of satisfying conclusions is on purpose or something. It just strikes me as a little weird. There were a couple technical issues around the game, but they were nothing particularly major. Just a little bit too much text appearing on the same window so it went behind the buttons, or I think I remember a single instance of a typo as well. So I guess keep an eye out for that, but they're not exactly going to be ruining your time with the game unless you're really annoyed by that. The soundtrack is generally pretty good. It isn't all that memorable, but it does its job in setting the mood for the most part, though a couple tracks do feel a little out of place. The artwork is quite good. Some of the backgrounds do feel a little blurry, but I think that might also just be the art style, so can't hold it against it too much. This is not an Isagudgaem, so there aren't any H-scenes or anything like that. That's not to say that there's not a bit of fan service, though. A lot of the CGs are quite intent on not quite looking up the characters' skirts. Except for one of them, where you just get an eyeful of Isenpa. Once you get every ending, you get access to the extras menu, where you can listen to the ending song, watch the opening, and listen to some unused voice lines. It's a little limited compared to other extras menus in other games. There is also a separate CG viewer, but that is available from the beginning, and those just unlock as you see the CGs in-game. And here we are, time for the final assessments. So, would I recommend this game? Yes, if you like shorter visual novels, like visual novels with a lot of choices, are new to VNs and are reluctant to play games with H content, or like abstract or vague plots. No if you prefer longer visual novels, prefer fewer or more straightforward choices, or want one with more straightforward endings. And did I enjoy it? Well, yeah. Now, it's certainly not my favorite. It definitely had flaws, but I found the characters and mysteries interesting. The storyline, well, weird. I like weird. And, well, again, the endings didn't really satisfy me completely. They were a little too vague for my liking. I can't really outweigh the possibility of that being on purpose, because of just how weird some of them were. So, while I definitely don't think this visual novel is for everyone, I'd still consider it a pretty solid read, despite my criticisms. And there we have it. Another visual novel has been reviewed. What? I mean, I know other people would usually put something here, but, I mean, the video's over. I don't have anything else to say. You can go now.